Hi, I'm Mark Nickerson, First Selectman of East Lyme. Welcome to Issues and Answers. Thanks for tuning in. Lucky you and lucky me that we're getting together today to talk about issues and answers in East Lyme, and we have a special guest, as we usually do, on the show. First, I'll update you with a few things that are going on. I'll tell you it's real busy at Town Hall. It's budget prep season, which means all departments are coming in, talking about their budgets and talking about where we need to be. Of course, there's always, negotiated wages and health benefits and workman's comp and unemployment compensation, all those things that build into the budget and build a heck of an increase in there. So we're working hard to keep the budget next year as flat as possible, and we'll have more information coming out to you. Here we are, the end of January, and all this stuff kind of comes public mid-February, and by March we're in front of the Board of Finance talking about real numbers, real revenue, real expenses. It's always the biggest concern in town. It's the number one job of the first selectman is to run government efficiently. Yeah, we need to expand and grow sometimes, and sometimes we retract. But we always need to be efficient at it, and every dollar that you send to the town needs to be accounted for. And that's where we're at, and that's what keeps our days busy at Town Hall. We're also got some projects going on. A dog park is being considered, and I ask any dog owner out there that would be interested in participating in a subcommittee, an ad hoc committee, to look for the right location and do some fundraising for a dog park, to contact me at the First Selectman's office, mnickerson@eltownhall.com. Or you can call me at 691-4110, and we'll put your name on the list. We're going to have hopefully a half a dozen people or so just kind of get together, and there's about 3 or 4 locations we'll look at and determine where the best dog park will be. It's something that most towns are adding on to their park system, if you will, and it proves to be a real good social gathering spot, not just for the dogs, but the dog owners. The band shell is, I've talked about it here already on my show previously, as we're fundraising for that. There are organizations that are putting money together for that. One of the organizations is being represented here today, and we'll talk more about that. It'll be in McCook's Park, and it'll be a performance stage for bands, for band competitions, battle of the band things for the high school kids, recreational, regional theater, maybe Eastern Connecticut Symphony will come down and play for us one night. We've had military bands and orchestras come in the past. Now we have a proper stage to put them on. And what a great addition to our town. The best part is, although we'll put some tax dollars toward it, we also have some buy-in from the community, from different community groups. We have a police building, as you know. It's downtown. It's on Main Street. It's the Dominion building. It used to be an old S&ET building. And we need to put some money into that. The building has aged since we've taken it over. I think we took it over 8 or 10 years ago. And we rent it for $1 a year from Dominion, and we have an option to buy that property as part of our lease. And we are looking into that and considering that. We're doing some studies on that building. It needs a new roof. The parking lot is in terrible shape. And if we're going to put money into a building, maybe we should put money into a building that we own. So we're looking into that. There'll be an upcoming DOT meeting regarding all the safety concerns. It's a nice way of putting it, on the highway. We're not saying it's a road problem on 95. It's not just a driver problem. It's a combination of that, and we need to do a better job of alerting out-of-state drivers and drivers not familiar with our narrow stretch of 95 of the pending dangers that are heading their way in that 5-mile stretch between East Lyme and Old Lyme. We're asking for more patrols from state police. We've seen it so far. That's great. We need better signage, and hopefully someday another lane, which will widen the stretch, even if it was just breakdown lanes and the lane off to the left lane, a place where you can pull over safely. We don't even have that right now. We're adding volleyball courts onto the what will be called the Boardwalk Beach, the old Amtrak beach, down toward the middle of the beach. We're adding volleyball courts. I had a few calls on that at the town hall at the first selectman's office, and I thought I'd make that announcement here today. Lucky you, you're the first to know. Volleyball courts, and that's a nice social thing, and wouldn't cost us much to put the poles and the netting up, and there's a lot of leagues and groups that will get together and make good use out of those. The selectmen are considering a blight ordinance. It's coming up in our meeting coming up in the next week or two. Very important as a tool for the zoning enforcement officer and the building official to know that if a property gets really in bad shape through neglect or cars being stored on the property, or just in a place where the property values of the neighbors are being affected, that our building officials can go in there and enforce a cleanup, and that we will only use it on really. On properties that are at the highest level of blight. I'm not going to tell you at what height your grass needs to be cut. It's a 1/4 inch too long. But we wouldn't do that. But if a property is really in bad shape, we'd certainly want to have the tools necessary to go in there and clean that up. I'd like to just shout out to a few groups. I left town hall yesterday. It was probably the last one. I thought it was the last one in the building, leaving kind of late. And I go by the conference room, and there's 6 or 8 people in there, and I said, "What are you doing?" And it was our East Lyme Veterans Council. And this is one of many groups that are in town that just quietly go about doing their work on behalf, in this case, the veterans, whether it's the Memorial Day and the Veterans Day celebrations in our town and our remembrances, or if it's a Niantic River watershed group that get together and do studies on the health of the Niantic River. These are just just 2 examples of 3 dozen, 4 dozen commissions and committees that quietly meet and do things for our town. And shout out to them, both of those groups. And thank you. If you serve our community in any way, whether it's a church group, a youth group, one of our commissions, councils, boards, elected, appointed, whatever, thank you for what you do in our community. Someone who does something in our community is Deb Updyke. She is immediate past president of the Niantic Lions Club and Niantic's Rotary, Kiwanis. These are people that also do things in our community. Welcome, Deb.
Well, thank you, Mark.
Nice to have you here. We know that Lions exist. We've heard of the Lions Club. My granddad was a lion. That's how I knew it. He had a lion head on his desk, and I played with it as a 5-year-old. Tell me who the Lions are.
Well, we are the best kept secret. The Lions Club was started by Melvin Jones in Chicago. He was a Chicago businessman back in 1917. He felt that businesses should be doing things for the community instead of just businesses. So that's when Lions Clubs were formed. Now, in 1925, Helen Keller asked the Lions to become Knights of the Blind in the Crusade Against Darkness. So that's where our focus was, on eyesight. But Lions do so much more than just eyesight now. So almost 100 years later, we will be celebrating our 100-year anniversary next July in Chicago.
Nice. An international
convention in Chicago. Right now we have we are the world's largest service organization with roughly 1.35 million members in more than 46,000 clubs in over 200 countries worldwide.
That's amazing. Now, I knew that the Lions, their charge internationally and originally was the eyesight program. I didn't know it started with a request from Helen Keller, who is pretty famous.
Right.
When we think of the blindness and the advances that were made in eyesight, or at least those afflicted with blindness. Helen Keller, my goodness.
Yes.
Good roots, good Good stock.
So we took her up on the challenge.
Good stock. Well, okay, so there's the international broad reach. You said 1.35 million people. That's a lot of people
Yes.
who call themselves Lions. That's awesome. And then let's go a little closer locally. Let's the state of Connecticut. Talk to me about the organization as it exists.
Okay, the state of Connecticut is divided into 3 Lions districts. Niantic is in the District 23C, and we basically cover the eastern part of Connecticut. So there's roughly 55 clubs in that group with about 1,250 members.
In just the district you're in?
That district, yes.
Okay.
So, like I said, Lions are so much more than vision. For instance, at a district level, when Hurricane Sandy hit, our District 23C governor got in contact with Lions Club International, and we were able to obtain a $10,000 grant to refund the food pantries that had gotten hit by people who needed food because their refrigerators went out.
Sure.
So we were able to do that in a matter of days.
That's amazing.
Lions also have what's called the Eastern Connecticut Low Vision Center. It is, we have a licensed eye technician, and this technician goes around to people's homes that are having visual problems, and she will assess the needs of those people, whether they need magnifying glasses, whether they need special lighting, raised dots for the stove. If they can't see the temperature on the stove, they have dots where they can put, at 350 so the person can just go up and feel the dot to set the stove. I don't know what you do with the electronic ones, but...
Well, that's, you don't think about those little things.
Right.
But it means the world to the people who are affected or afflicted. And someone out there has to do it.
Right.
And the Lions are there quietly, just getting it done. And that's amazing. It's a great story. That's great. And it's affecting, that was in Eastern Connecticut.
That's an Eastern Connecticut Low Vision Center.
Low Vision Center.
Yes.
And we're so fortunate in our region that we have these groups. And I'll specifically mention the Low Vision Center, that we're not so overwhelmed with big population that that this resource isn't available to us. We're just big enough that there's the resource. I have a need. The Lions are there to take care of it. That's wonderful.
So we also have a project. It's called Kids Sight USA. This is a truly amazing program. We can screen children from the age of 6 months to 6 years with a specialized camera. We only have to have the child's attention for, say, 10 seconds. The little camera looks like an old Polaroid camera, and there's a little bird that tweets and flies by. So if we can get the kid's attention on that bird for 10 seconds, it will print out a report via the computer hookup that lists about 10 or 12 different conditions, nearsightedness, farsightedness.
That's amazing. That's great.
Crossed eyes.
Yeah.
So then if there are problems that are noticed on that printout, the patient's parents are asked to go ahead and follow up with an eye care specialist to correct that. Because what they find is when kids have vision issues and they get into school, a lot of the behavior that they portray may be related to eye problems, but because they're not able to verbalize the problems, they go on undiagnosed.
And maybe that was my problem. Because I could never sit still for 10 seconds for them to check me. So here I am, the booby prize of first selectman. That's awesome that you get to do that. I joke, but that's pretty cool. So we learned that the Lions are international, 1.3 million people around the world doing these little projects in every corner of the world. But let's talk about our corner of the world. We talked about Eastern Connecticut Vision Center, but how about the Niantic Lions?
On the more local level.
On the local level.
The Niantic Club, we were formed in 1949 with 33 members. We're still going strong. We have roughly 71 members. And we have two major fundraisers that we do every year. The art show, Lobster Fest, and Chicken Barbecue is held the weekend of July 4th.
We all know that one.
Down on Town Hall property.
Yeah.
And we sell freshly made kettle corn at various events like Celebrate East Lyme. It's also available at our Lobster Fest. My husband spends both days on the weekend cooking kettle corn.
He does an amazing job. What's his first name?
Larry.
Larry does, I know Larry. I just put it all together.
There you go.
This is how it works, folks. He does an amazing job because it's my favorite kettle corn. And I'm a sucker for popcorn, but as many of you are, you guys make great kettle corn. Just local people. I mean, you're not in business to do it, but
Nope.
you kind of are. You're kind of in business to fundraise to do it, but it's amazing. So if you do see the Lions kettle corn booth or van out there, stop by, give them $10. You'll walk away with something that will last you a week. And
And
we'll
we
make the
do
family
offer
happy.
some free samples in case you're not familiar with it, so we can get you hooked.
It's a perfect blend. It's just the perfect blend. And I walk away amazed every time. And every time it's consistent and great. Delish.
Thank you.
That Lobster Fest is it's a minor task, right?
No,
It's not.
no.
It's just a little thing that you put on every year. You put some lobsters in a pot.
We start planning, say, in November,
Okay.
because we have our PR group that works on the advertising. As far as the art show portion, we send out the invites to various craft magazines, and to get people, to apply to our crafts portion.
You probably have a lot of vendors that keep coming back
Yes,
and back. I
yes.
noticed that.
And it is a juried show, so
Okay.
I'm-
And you have a lot of variety. How do you do that? I mean, it's not every booth doesn't have the same thing.
we try to mix it up
Yeah.
so that it appeals to all tastes, not just, crafts, but there's also some fine arts. There's watercolors, oil paintings,
Right.
sketches, things like that.
And cool, nutty, different things every year. There's
Yes.
something that just catches your eye.
Right.
How many vendors usually? How many booths?
160 to 180,
That's amazing.
yeah.
It's a lot of different vendors.
Correct.
So we always go down there saying we're not leaving here without buying at least something because we're going to regret it
That's right.
on the 5th of July when we're
God,
like,
I should have gotten
why
that."
didn't we buy that for the house? So we do it every year. We make sure we buy something. Now I'm allergic to lobster, so I can't go to the Lobster Fest, right?
No, you can, because we not only have the barbecue chicken, we have the front tent, which offers hamburgers, hot dogs,
Yeah.
fried dough, clam fritters, curly fries. I could keep going.
It's a great menu. You guys, you take it seriously. It's good stuff, and it's cooked and prepared and served with professionalism.
There we go.
Guys know what they're doing. Sometimes you go to these rinky-dink things, and not that yours is, but the hamburger wasn't cooked all the way, or it was burnt on the other side, or the lobster, it wasn't the best lobster I've ever. You guys know how to put it on.
We have the group of guys who do the lobster, they have a book because they have
Yeah.
to take the temperature of the lobster, what time it goes in, what time it comes out. Same with the chicken. So
Now, you're checked by the Ledgelight Health District, I would
Correct.
imagine, right? So everything has to be prepared properly
Right.
with concern for public safety
Right.
and public health. So that's good to know. I mean, sometimes carnival food is sketchy. Yours isn't.
And
It's-
the day that we start the show, that we do get inspected by the health
Right.
department to make sure we have everything in order.
Right.
We have members who are certified in food handling,
Good.
so we're all set
So
there.
there's a whole big process here. Members that are, they're certified. They had to go to a class.
They had
and
to go
take
to
a
class
test and
and-
be
yes.
certified. So you're not just giving back to the community, but you're adding certificates onto your wall in your living
There
room.
we go.
I'm a certified food handler. That's great. So what do you? So you raise a whole lot of money, and that's the purpose. The purpose is it's a fundraiser. So next year or this coming summer, think of that too. You're not just going down there for a meal. You're going down there because the money, the profit from that goes right back into our community. This is one of those organizations that doesn't have a high overhead or the money's leaving here and going to somewhere else. A majority of that money stays here in our community, and so many good things have come from the Lobster Fest and from the Lions' good work. What are some of the projects that you have sponsored, supported?
Like you mentioned, all the funds we raise go directly back into the community. Just a few things, because I go on for hours as to the various things we support.
Of course.
But we support the Little League. We have a team. The Boy and Girl Scouts of the town. We support the Senior Center. We just recently supplied them with I believe it was a freezer.
Thank you for that.
We support the library. We give them funds so that they can buy audiobooks and large print books. We support Care and Share. We support the Smith Harris House as part of our history. We provide high school scholarships. We provide funding to the high school band so that they can get new uniforms, or if they need new instruments or whatever. In conjunction with Care and Share, we do the holiday food baskets. Care and Share handles the non-perishables. Our Lions Club buys the perishable items, and we go over maybe the day before the weekend we're going to do this and pack the boxes. And Saturday morning before the weekend before Christmas, we go to Tri-Town to pick up all the perishable items, get them over to Care and Share.
And that's a whole big project.
It is.
It's an assembly line of people putting baskets
this year
together.
we helped with 125 food baskets that Care and Share had said needy families, 125 of them. We also had a Christmas tree at one of our meetings, which had the wish lists from families in town. Right. And so the members actually picked the little tags off and provided toys or gifts for the families that were on the tree.
That's awesome. You have to think outside the box here a little bit. That like the senior center freezer. We have a great senior center, and they're well equipped, and they prepare lunches every day, and there's banquets, and they have special parties every once in a while. I have a joke that they party more than my college son. Because there's always an event going on down at the senior center. But they were desperate for a freezer, and the town doesn't have, again, your tax money at work. We don't always have those kind of funds sitting around and available. And there's the Lions to step up and say, we'll take care of you. The Little League teams, the Boy Scouts, just a contribution to our community. It's amazing. We're grateful for it, and we're better because of it. So thank you. You're want to throw in a couple last words?
Yeah. Well,
I don't want to run out of time here, and we will.
We will. Okay. I just wanted to let you know that the Lions Club was responsible for building the gazebo on Town Hall. On the green. On the green,
next to Family Pizza, right down at the corner there.
Also the pavilion on Town Hall. Yes. At Town Hall. In 1993, we sponsored the Shoreline Leos Club, which is a school-age version of the Lions Club. They do their own fundraisers, and they donate about $3,000 a year to charitable organizations.
And here you have high school kids who are being given the opportunity to learn how to serve a community. And what a great lesson that is. They're the future Lions, obviously. They're the future leaders of our town, the world, really. And I'm told that the Leos Club at the high school is the largest club on campus.
Over 100 members.
Over 100
between middle
high school. And so you might be watching, you might have a son, a daughter, a grandkid who probably was a Leo, if they are at or at East Lyme High School or had been. So how do you become a Lion?
Okay, I invite anyone who is interested in becoming a Lion. You can attend our meetings, which are held the first and third Wednesdays of every month at Flanders Fish Market at 6:15 in the evening. Or we also have a website, nianticlions.org.
That's really hard to remember, nianticlions.org.
Right.
It's not hard to remember. Why don't you go on there right now and just check it out. There probably is some contact information there. Because walking into a meeting, honestly, it's kind of intimidating. You don't know anybody, and just walk in and say, "Hey, I want to be a Lion." It doesn't happen at every one of your meetings, but the World Wide Web, the internet, has given us an opportunity to learn about organizations and make contact one-on-one and be able to say, okay, let me put my big toe in the water here and check this out. So nianticlions.org, or come to a meeting.
That's right. First and third
Wednesdays. That's when the selectmen meet, So
That's right.
that's why I come in and wave every once in a while and give an update, but then I got to dash off to a meeting.
And then if I just have 30 seconds more.
That's about right.
Our most recent venture is providing hospitality bags to our town's homeless population. These bags contain a fleece blanket, hat, gloves, personal hygiene bag, and ready-to-eat food. The East Lyme Police Department then distributes these bags to those in need. It fits with this year's Lions theme of dignity, harmony, and humanity.
That's really cool, and our police department are really appreciative of the Lions stepping up and doing that. The homeless are out there, and they're in our community. We don't often see them. They're certainly in our region. The Lions stepping up to say, what do we have in there? Blankets, maybe a bottle of water, some
gloves,
hygiene,
yes.
Stuff. So, and hat and gloves. Good for you guys for stepping up on that.
Thank you.
And I saw that on Facebook. Somebody posted, I think East Lyme Police Department did on their Facebook site. So thank you. Thank you, Deb Updyke, the past president of the Lions. You did a great job today.
Oh, why, thank you very much.
Was it
Thanks
okay?
for having me.
Was I a good host?
You were.
All right, good. So thank you for that. And we'll have you back someday. You can update us. Maybe when we get close to that Lobster Fest, we can have you guys back, okay?
All right.
Thanks for tuning in. My name is Mark Nickerson, First Selectman of East Lyme. Thanks for tuning in to Issues and Answers. We'll see you next time.